Hi, welcome to Julius Bar. Today we are gonna see a pear and matcha original cocktail which I call the Cygnus X-1. So it's the fall and it's the right season for pears. Unlike apples, the season for pears is really brief, at least here in Japan. So I managed to sneak a couple small cheap ones, and I've been thinking what kind of cocktail could we make with pears, and I couldn't figure out anything until a few days ago we went to this awesome bar in Ikebukuro in Tokyo, which is called Bar Libre, and I saw the menu matcha and pear cocktail. Now I didn't order it, but from what I heard from a bartender, they combine pear juice, matcha, and pear vodka. I wanted to go a different way, so I decided to combine it with Pisco, but this specific Pisco, and we're gonna get into it in just a second. Now, most cocktails you're gonna see on the internet using matcha, they tend to go a matcha latte kind of way, mixing some milk or some cream, coconut milk with matcha to get a frothy top, which is good. But I just made the circle, triangle, square video about Squid Game, and in that video I use coconut and cream and stuff like that, so I didn't want to go that way. Of course, matcha is the really finely grounded tea that you can just melt inside liquids, usually water or milk, and above the Pisco. So this cocktail wouldn't exist without this specific Pisco, which I got like a couple of weeks ago. It's Sarkei de Azpitia. So my first Pisco was this Tres Generazione Pisco Quebranta. It's completely different from this Sarkei. So this one, it's extremely fruity, the Quebranta. While this Sarkei de Azpitia Pisco Puro is made only with Torontel grapes. So my thinking is, because Pisco is made from grape juice and is distilled only once, it retains much of the characteristic of the original grapes, more so than, I don't know, grappa or other kind of brandy. So in this case, while this one is extremely fruity, the Tres Generaciones, this one made from a different grape, Torontel, it's more like minty and dry. It's really like you compare like a Gewürztraminer to a dry Chardonnay. So with that said, let's start building our cocktail. So I'm just gonna cut the pear in some chunkies. And then I'm just gonna press it using this tool for mashed potatoes, which I used successfully before for the pineapple and less successfully for the apple. But for this pear, it works kind of fine. Now that we have our pear juice, by the way, this pear juice freshly squeezed has totally a different lightness compared to the pear juice I could buy in Italy, which is a lot thicker and stronger flavor. This is really light and nice. Of course, in Japan I really have no choice because they don't sell any pear juice anywhere. So let's get our cocktail glass. It's gonna be this black pottery thing, which I made when I was taking pottery classes 13 or 14 years ago. And let's put 1 spoon of matcha powder. It's kind of a good amount compared to the amount of cocktail we are gonna make, but I think it's about right because we want some frothiness, some foam forming on top of our cocktail. Then I'm going to fine strain this pear juice inside our glass. I measured before, it should be about like 30-40 milliliters of juice. So it's a really small pear, and I think it's about enough juice to make one cocktail. And then I'm gonna use a frother to make it foam. So this is one of those frother you will use to make yourself a cappuccino. Let's give it a go. As you can see, in no time we have our really pretty foam. Of course, we could have used one of those things that look like a shaving brush, but I guess this one was a bit quicker and easier. So now that we have our matcha nicely and foamy, let's add the alcohol part of our cocktail. I'm gonna add a teaspoon of this Saint Germain elderflower liqueur. I just got this, I don't have much experience with it. To me it smells like lychee more than anything else. It's a really nice and fruity flavor, which I think helps pulling this cocktail together. But only 1 teaspoon because he has a really strong character, which otherwise is going to take over everything else. And then we're going to put 60 milliliters of this Pisco, which, as I said, is a bit more minty and fresh and dry than my other option, made from Torontel grapes. By building the cocktail this way, we can keep the foam on top, as opposed as to shaking it and doing other treatment where I would have ruined this effect. Now that we have this done, let's add a big ice here inside. A nice round and clear rock. And there you go. I call this a Cygnus X-1 because, besides being a big Rush fan, staring at the ice so clear in the middle of this foamy field over a black cup, it looks like you're looking into the void. Of course, Cygnus X-1 is the name of a black hole, if you don't know. And the more you look, the more you feel the emptiness that surrounds all of us. But in the end, the emptiness, it's inside us, all along. From the day we were born till the day we die. But there is one more step. I was almost about to forget. With all the dark talk, we need to give this a stir. Otherwise it's going to be just too strong. So delicately we go round and round around our black hole ice cube, so as to keep the foam on top. And there you go. You can see from the top the black hole of our Cygnus X-1. So let's give this a try. Cygnus X-1, a pear and matcha and pisco cocktail. Cheers. It's nicely balanced. Again, the pisco choice, it's essential to pull together this drink. The elderflower liqueur is just right there to give a nice fruity top to everything, together with the pear. The bitterness of the matcha is compensated by the sweetness of the pear and of the pisco. But again, not too sweet pisco, as this pisco that's a bit minty. And it's a really nice drink. Nicely pulled together. Thanks again to Bar Libre, from which I stole the idea of matching matcha with pear juice. I think it's an excellent idea. I'm gonna feature more pear videos if I have a chance to make more pear content. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Like, subscribe, type your heart out in the comment down below, do whatever you want, shake yourself or just stir yourself a drink really, and I will see you next time. Cheers. So I mentioned I'm a big Rush fan, and that's true, and Cygnus X-1 might be one of my favorite songs. It's not my favorite song is Red Barchetta, as they say in English speaking countries. It's really like Red Barchetta, as we will say in Italy. But Cygnus X-1 is definitely one of my favorite because to me it sounds like proto-voivod or voivod ante litteram. If you listen to what Voivod will do just 10 years after, filter from their more punk sensibility and the fresh that by the time happened, you will see that what they do in Killing Technology and Nothing Face, it's really basically a Cygnus X-1 brought to its final conclusion. And I love Cygnus X-1 because probably it's the heaviest piece by Rush ever, with all those dissonances and angular rhythmic, and on top of that he has this theme, like it starts like so dark, it finishes really dark, and in the middle is this ride like on the Rocinante, which is so adventure-like. And A Farewell to King was probably my favorite album by Rush of all time. I listened to it when I was 16, while I was reading a ton of D&D manuals, and that adventure dimension, that fantastic world between the medieval, the future, which permeates the whole album. Xanadu, A Farewell to King is medieval, even closer to the heart, as blacksmiths and poets and bards. It's I don't know, I just really love that album. I was able to see Rush just once in 2004 on their R30 tour in Milan, and it was one of the best concerts I ever seen. Just amazing. In 2005 I moved to Japan, and then too bad Rush never came to Japan. And I heard Geddy saying that it's because Neil Peart didn't wanna come, and I don't know why. I always thought it might be because of something about the song Manhattan Project, but this is just an idea I have. If you know why Rush never came back to Japan in the last 30 years, I don't know when was last time they came, let me know, because I'm curious about it. By the way, Rush were awesome. Well, their music will remain awesome for all time. This Cygnus X-1 cocktail is pretty good. I hope you enjoyed the video once more, and I will see you. Cheers. Nice balance between sweet and bitterness of matcha.